Now, when we talk about funding, there are really just two big categories: traditional financing and creative financing. Traditional financing is structured through banks, lenders, or credit unions. Creative financing is flexible through people, partnerships, or creative structures. Both serve a purpose. Traditional loans give you stability and lower rates. Creative deals give you flexibility and access when traditional doors are closed. And smart investors, they don't choose one or the other. They learn to leverage both depending on the deal. So let's start with the traditional side, the more familiar types of financing. You've got conventional loans. These are the same loans that most people use to buy their personal homes. They work great for long-term rentals, and if your credit and your income are solid, you'll often get the best rates and lowest payments. The trade-off there is that you'll usually need a larger down payment, somewhere between 15 to 25%. Then you have hard money loans. Now, this is where most investors start when they're doing flips or buying fixer-uppers, because these loans are based more on the property's value than your personal credit or income. They're short-term interest-only loans, usually between 9 and 12 months long, but they fund fast and cover more of the deal. I've personally used hard money lenders for many of my own purchases. They've made funding my early deals very simple and fast. Some of them could close in as little as 2 weeks. My specific hard money lender funds up to 75% of the deal, including the rehab costs. So that means that our out-of-pocket expenses were super low compared to traditional loans. Now, the trade-off there is that these loans usually come with higher interest rates. They're usually around 12 to 13%, and they're interest only. But as long as you calculate those holding costs into your numbers, you can still make amazing deals work. You just have to plan for your exit strategy, because when that 9 to 12 month term is up, you'll need to refinance into a long-term loan. For us, the main reason we started with hard money was because we couldn't find a traditional lender who allowed us to include our rehab costs in the loan. Eventually, though, we found a bank that does, and it completely changed our process. So now we get the best of both worlds: low upfront costs, lower interest rates, and a simplified process that doesn't require a refinancing later. The only time that we'll still use a hard money lender today is when we need to close very quickly, because our traditional lender still requires the 30 days that is normal. Otherwise, we powerhouse our portfolio through our relationship lender. That's the beauty of this business. You evolve, you build relationships, and your toolbox grows with you. Then we have portfolio or community bank loans. These are offered by smaller local banks that often lend based on relationships, not just numbers. If you build a solid track record and communicate your vision, they can be incredibly flexible, especially for investors with growing portfolios. And then we have home equity loans or HELOCs. Now, if you already own a home or rental property, you may be able to borrow against the equity to fund your next deal. This is a great option for investors who are scaling up their portfolio without tapping into cash savings. Okay, so now let's talk about the fun side, the creative side, where many women truly shine. Creativity in real estate isn't about cutting corners. It's about connecting value with opportunity. These are strategies that will help you do deals without needing massive cash reserves. The first is seller financing. This is where the seller acts as the bank. So instead of paying a lender, you make payments directly to the seller. And this can be a win-win for both sides. They earn steady income and you gain control of the property with flexible terms. Then you have subject to deals. This strategy allows you to take over the seller's existing mortgage payments while the loan stays in their name. It's perfect for motivated sellers who may be behind on payments or need relief really fast. And then you have private money lending. This is one of my favorites. It's borrowing from individuals who want to invest their money passively for a return. It could be a friend, a colleague, or another investor just looking for steady returns secured by real estate. Just remember, transparency and professionalism are non-negotiable. Always treat private lenders with the same respect that you'd give a financial institution. And then we have partnerships or joint ventures. In these deals, one partner brings the funding and the other brings the deal and the work. Profits are typically shared, but everyone wins. This approach is really fantastic for women who have strong networking or management skills, because you can partner with someone who believes in your vision. And then finally, we have lease options. Now, this one is a hidden gem. You lease a property with the option to buy it later, giving you time to control and profit from the property before officially purchasing it. Now, here's the golden rule of funding. Your deal determines your funding, not the other way around. If you're flipping, you'll use short-term funding like hard money or private money. If you're buying long-term rentals, go for stable long-term loans. If your property needs a major rehab, make sure your lender allows rehab costs in the loan. Creative options like seller financing or subject to deals often work best with flexible sellers or unique property situations. Think of funding as a toolbox. Each deal just needs the right tool. So now that you know the funding paths, here's the part that separates the amateurs from the pros. Preparation. Lenders, whether they're banks or private partners, invest in confidence. So come to every conversation ready with your deal analysis, your exit strategy, and your numbers. Show them that you're not guessing, you're executing a plan. You are the CEO of your investing business, and no CEO walks into a meeting unprepared. When you show up with clarity and confidence, people trust you. And when people trust you, funding flows easily.